Activate defenses.
Activate defenses.
Commence countdown.
10 minutes and counting.
9 minutes and counting. 8 minutes and counting. 7 minutes and counting.
6 minutes and counting.
5 minutes and counting. 4 minutes and counting. 3 minutes and counting. 2 minutes and counting.
1 minute and counting.
40 seconds and counting. 10, 9, 8.
Hello, David Zaritsky for the Bond Experience. Welcome to James Bond Day. First things first, this is going to be really important. I need everybody's help. I know already. I'm asking you to work on a Saturday morning or afternoon, depending on where you are. How's my sound? We always like to check the basics. Technology is not always our friend. Yeah, I know, despite that. So I'm going to look for some thumbs ups in the audience. Can I get some thumbs ups around sounds? Oh, views from Mark right off the bat. Thanks for being diligent and helping me. We can hear you. Hey, the hard part is over. Now we just get to relax and celebrate. First of all, thank you all for coming out. You're probably by your home in your pajamas or in shorts like I am. Not supposed to say what's in my lower GI, but there you go. I just woke up not too long ago. It is James Bond Day. For those uninitiated, what is James Bond Day? And by the way, it's flexed. It's flexed like Arnold Schwarzenegger's pecs throughout the years. Sometimes it's global James Bond Day. Sometimes it's James Bond Day. The last 2 years in a row, including this one, and Eon sets the tone. It's James Bond Day. It's not global. It is global, but it doesn't need to say that it's global. That's like saying water is wet. So it is just James Bond Day. For those of you posting out there, I salute you, but welcome to James Bond Day. And James Bond Day was sort of an homage, if you will, to when James Bond himself premiered on the silver screen 62 years ago today. And so all us nudniks out there are fans and fans to be, and even non-fans, we celebrate James Bond. And thank goodness that the character, the movies entered into our lives. Otherwise, look at this. We wouldn't have all this. We wouldn't have people like Ryan analyze this Mr. Bond who's making coffee. You're a little late. You should have made the coffee just a moment ago. I'm just saying you wouldn't have Leo. I mean, what would life be without Leo? That's what I'm asking. What about DTUK, who's always first? I don't know. You wouldn't have Nick's Talks Bond. Mr. Zaritsky, you appear with the inevitability of an unloved season. My family feels the same way. Don't feel bad. But you wouldn't have a lot of people. Look at this. The effervescent, and I mean effervescent James Bond television. Saludos, David. He's multilingual. He's a cunning linguist. You know it. James Bond Confidential. Also, International James Bond Day has been used. Yes, it has. Listen, a rose by any other name would still taste delicious. I'm not sure that's how it goes. But let's get some etiquette down first, because this is a celebration. It's a day of events. It's a day of announcements, maybe. We're going to talk about all that. We're going to take questions from all of you. We're going to welcome you into the room. We've got, 150 of our closest friends right now. We'll build over time. But like my friend Ryan making coffee, hopefully you have some libations. I've actually, did I read that somebody, was it David Minton of the BBC? Is he on his third martini already? Lord, man, I know it's like 1 o'clock where you are, but my gosh, I went a little low and slow because this could be a day long of, liver. So, oh gosh, this is hard to balance. So I have, look at that frostiness. All right, hold on. I got to take a sip because I'm going to spill this puppy. Cheers. Happy James Bond Day to all of you. Let's celebrate our favorite character in the smallest of ways, in the biggest of ways. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're parachuting out of a plane today, if you're watching a Bond film on Prime, if you're reading a Fleming book. This is the type of, do I call it a holiday? Yeah, why not? This is the type of holiday where you keep it in your heart in your soul, in your mind, in your passion, the way you want to do it. There is no wrong way. It's like, who's your favorite Bond? There is no wrong answer. I mean, there is a wrong answer, but not to how you keep Bond Day. What am I drinking? It looks like sparkling apple juice or champagne. It's not. It is toasted, ready for this? Toasted coconut seltzer by Polar. Toasted coconut seltzer. And I put a very heavy splash or two, don't judge, of Blackwell rum in there. And I have no name for this. So what I need you to start doing in the comments is to come up with a name for my drink. All right, I'm going to repeat it again. It's toasted coconut seltzer to add a sparkle to the day because we like a healthy chest. And on top of that, it is a couple splashes, maybe 3, of Blackwell rum. I need to think, yes, it is amazing. It even tastes good. Don't drink and parachute. Neil, that is words to live by. There's David Minton. Now, David, you need to tell us if you really are on a number 3 martini or have you had 3 martinis? I'm just saying. So here we go. We're off to the races. And by the way, as you post maybe the name for this drink, oh, wait a minute. Do we have a winner? Adrian Moore, the Coral. I like that because if you drink enough of these, you might start quarreling with people. And it's a nice nod to the character as well. I really do like that. The black coconut, why not? Why not? Yeah, why not? Wow, we've got some people already getting a little avant-garde about, whether there's going to be a special movie announcement today or not. Usually I save those conversations for the end, but you know something? Look at you, you're a baller. Why don't we do this? Why don't we talk about what everybody feels there is going to be around announcements? Do we feel like there's going to be something around a movie, a little bit of a hint? I'm just going to go out. Oh, wait, hold on a second. We got another. What the doctored know. Oh, I get it. The doctored know. Ron and Sherpa. I do like that. I like that. We got the Honey Rider. We've got the Severine. People are coming up with some really good names. I'm not minding any of these. So there we go. The doctored know. Yeah, no, I get it, man. You're really running it home. So here's a couple things right off the bat. I'd love to know in the comments section who here feels like today we're going to get anything around Bond 26. And right off the bat, we got more things going. Analyze this, Mr. Bond. Ryan says, I will be shocked if there's anything related to Bond 26. So let me offer my opinion on this James Bond Day. I believe at the very most, as it relates to Bond 26, today we might get some sort of an announcement that says we have begun working on Bond 26 or thinking about Bond 26 or Bond 26. We're looking forward to releasing Bond 26 in 2027, right? I mean, I can't imagine it. I can't imagine a film coming out before 2027. But what does everybody think we're going to get today? Because I've had some people say, hey, it'd be great to have a casting decision. Mike Poplawski here, always opinionated, always dressed for success. I doubt we will get any new information. Lane, good old Lane Joyner joining us. Yeah, right. Radio silence from Eon. Mr. Truxton will get nothing. Hold on a second. We have a dare, ladies and gentlemen. We could create a Blofeld out of James Bond television. If we have a Bond 26 news today, I will shave my head. Ladies and gentlemen, get out the shaver because no, I have nothing. I have nothing. If you came here today, all 205 of you, if you came here today to hear me be a conduit to an announcement, what I'm asking all my sparrows, it's a Game of Thrones thing, by the way, my sparrows, meaning all of us who keep our ear to the ground, if you hear something come out of the woodwork, an announcement from Eon today about anything auspicious like that, let me know. I will absolutely interrupt this. And Neil, yes, Eon knows about James Bond Day because they put a lot of launch products, a lot of pieces, some of the things we're going to be going over. They know about James Bond Day. Now, a lot of us are basically saying, wow, got a lot of comments right here. Scott says there's less than 0% chance of an announcement. Jay Sadowski, boy, he punches. When he punches hard, he's like Rocky. We get the rhythm section number 2 announcement. All right, funny guy. I see what you're doing here. I will say this. Everybody is filled with hope. You come with hope and you wonder, will there be something today? What an amazing opportunity to actually have an announcement. But I don't believe we're going to get anything. I think, judging by an email that I received, that everybody received from 007 and Eon and the 007 store, there are going to be a handful of ways that Eon is relegating us to celebrate. Number one, and I have them written. I'm organized for you. Dang nabbit. Hold on. Rummy. Delicious. Number one, I know we're going to be getting a lot of brand and product announcements today. I mean, quite a few. We already received some of them. We've got a little secret, intriguing announcement from Crockett and Jones, because they're coming out with not one, not two, but yes, just two. Two pieces that are brand new. One that was kind of hanging out in the window, so I don't think it's a secret, and that is replicas, if you will, homage pieces to Sean Connery's suede shoes that he wears when he's driving through Switzerland and Goldfinger. Perfect. And then another pair that I actually know about, but it ain't premiering yet. We may be seeing it when we go to London very shortly, like a sneak little preview. But I'm actually more excited about the second pair than the first pair. Somebody just asked, watch check. It's James Bond Day. I had to really think about which watch I'm wearing on James Bond Day to celebrate it. I could have gone with 60th anniversary. I get it. Heck, even Rolex to roll it back. I did choose. I'm going to get tarred and feathered for this, but I did chose my Quantum of Solace, 42 millimeter Planet Ocean, because it's my gravitational pull. Not just Quantum of Solace, but the watch itself. So sue me. The other thing is we've got things from NPL that came out, but they're reissuing all these videos. We've got Bollinger that came out with a new pack. I don't even know the price of that, but wow, very impressive. We've got Penfold, who actually did a release today, and Globetrotter, who did a release today as well. We've got a sneak preview coming up on that. Views from Mark actually had a really great video that came out around that today. And then we have all these different locations that we can gravitate to. For example, I'm going to find out from all of you who intends to or who has gone to the 007 store/bar in the Burlington Arcade, because we have a couple little announcements on that coming soon. The Spy Museum in Washington, D.C. If you're close to the Spy Museum, you can go there, check out all the cars. Chicago, we got the Science Museum there. To me, am I going to play favorites? Here I go. The Chicago one is it. I mean, I've seen a lot of them. We've got one in Vienna right now, but the Chicago one is expansive. Not to mention the Chicago Science Museum has other things like, I don't know, a full-size submarine that we can get behind. Very Bond. And then we've got Elements. So this is kind of a little announcement. Elements in Solden is an amazing place, Bond location. Very health-oriented, Austria. And Austria has the Alps. It's beautiful. Well, Danielle, my wife, and I will be traveling back to Austria in February, actually tail end of January, beginning of February, to celebrate an anniversary around Spectre. I know, you're like, David, calm your jets. Aren't we still on Goldfinger? And aren't we still on the Man with the Golden Gun? And yes. But, you know, we need to forecast to the future. I know you do this as well, right? You plan out your vacations. We're going to be kicking off the year in Bond style by heading to Austria. And we've got a couple of events with Solden. But in the meantime, go to Solden. Go to Elements. You will love it. It's head popping. If you need any recommendations of hotels around the Solden area, like if you want to stay at a spa, there's a place called Aquadome. It is bonkers. It is an adult Disneyland of spa treatments. You walk in, you feel like you're at the end of every 1960s James Bond movie because everything looks like this giant layer. Trust me, you will thank Mew. Mew will thank Mew. Is it Mew like from Pokemon? No, we'll thank me. You'll thank me for recommending that. Anyway, I'd like to know, because we're all going to be waiting by the phone, looking for, I don't know, an announcement that's probably never going to happen. In the meantime, what are we doing besides this live channel getting together? What are we doing to really celebrate everything that we're doing? Chris B says, I hope they pick a director who doesn't spend his time hitting on extras on the seat like what Carrie. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's morning time, everybody. There we go. Nothing like controversy first thing in the morning, but hey, it's live. Anything goes. Ian Cunningham says, I was walking through the Burlington arcade last week. Should rename the 007 arcade. There's a lot going on here, and we'll get to it. But we're going to be talking about what events, especially for the Bond community, are happening in the near future, which could include the Burlington arcade. So you may be walking through. Yeah, it's hard to believe. Nick Talks Bond. Spectre will be 10 next year. 10. What happened? I revisited Spectre not too long ago. I started to watch it on a plane. Then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to bring it home. And it has grown in my appreciation. I think that's a lot of people. It's grown in everybody's appreciation. But my gosh, 10 years. Are we that old already? Bordeaux and Bond visiting Vesper in Atlanta. I don't even know what that means. Is Vesper in Atlanta now? Oh, wait. Mr. Chrono just ate some scrambled eggs and wearing my Bond shirt. Nothing wrong with that. And yes, Neil Taylor points out very succinctly, Amazon are showing the Bond films in UHD, but not HDR. Wonk, 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 wonk. But you know what? You've got all 25 films. So I feel like this live stream is going to be about confession. Didn't expect that, huh? Yeah, I need a little hair of the dog. I started watching something last night on Prime. My first movie that I'm watching on the Prime, and it is No Time to Die. I know. And I've given No Time to Die some shade over the years since it's premiered. But I just wanted to give it a try. I wanted to see what it was. And I got as far as, of course, the end of Cuba. And I decided that I'm really enjoying myself, but I know we're getting to the second half, and I'll probably finish that up tonight. So as shocking as it is, positively shocking, my intention is to finish watching No Time to Die on James Bond Day. I know, glutton for punishment. I don't know, you be the judge. Hold on a second. Drinking champagne and just finished watching You Only Live Twice here in London. Harry Heppel, you have the secret ingredients to the perfect Bond Day, because look, I'm well aware that in the Bond community, I'm the product guy. I'm the guy that, comes around the corner and reviews everything, and, just products come out and I want to wear them. I want to see them, just all these things, just start happening. And, even things that people would never show up for or, look for or even want on their desk. Go. Chances are I'm collecting them, but I'm also extremely connected to the fact that you don't need to buy anything or to exchange money or transactions or even get in your car to enjoy James Bond. That's the wonderful, I'm going to call it the equalizer. It's the equalizer that we all just simply want to escape. Even this live stream right now is, you were talking to your family moments ago, you were pouring coffee, and now you're escaping with people like Valentino, who, trust me, if you saw Valentino walking through your backyard, you'd grab your shotgun. You would. Yeah. Valentino says, I watched No Time to Die 2 days ago as it was the 3rd anniversary of when I went to the theater. I remember that. I remember going to the theater. I remember at the premiere, lights went up, it was over, and I went out to get a drink with a few friends. and it was a little dour. It was, there was the applause. There's always the applause, but it wasn't like, the fist bumping going on here. Nowadays, I think that everybody can get into it because we know we're amongst friends at those premieres. Like there's other things to get out of it than a movie, which is what gives me a quantum of solace. Stop it, David. A quantum of solace of not being upset that there more than likely will not be a movie announcement today, because we have the Bond community, we have the 25 movies, we have friends, we have books, we have fun things coming out. Whether you like the products or not, it's fun to watch the movies and just see them anyway. But mostly the people. Like in about, what is it? Oh gosh, less than a week. I'm going to be celebrating Bond again, and all the anniversaries, like up close and personal, maybe with some of you. Dean Dunleavy, I don't know if he's going to be there, but he wishes everybody a happy global James Bond Day, everybody. I just told you it's not global James Bond Day. No, you can look, you could say international, you could say Bond Day, you could say 007 Day. What do we got here? Waiting for my unedited Bond novels. I'm going to edit you. See what I did there? To come today, spending the day reading them. Good man. Look, I'm not throwing shade, but I do like me some unedited Bond films as well. Hold on a second. Mr. Truxton, I've been reading Raymond Benson today on Double Shot. Now, I've got to tell you something. I've been reading this morning about so many people picking up a book or picking up a magazine or even a comic, a James Bond comic. Hello, Blackwell. And reading today. And I think that's so nice because in this ever-changing world in which we live in, see what I did? We don't slow down. Even this right now, I'm talking fast like a typical New Yorker, and things are going quick and visuals. But when we read, and not audio, because I multitask when I do Audible. When we read, we have to stop. We have to concentrate. Otherwise, you have to read the same sentence and paragraph. You ever done that? I've done that. You can't be too distracted. Even music sometimes can be distracting, but you have to close yourself off to the rest of the world. You can't two-screen it when you're reading a book. Even the smell of it, you want to take in the aromatherapy of a pulp. That's how Ian Fleming wanted, schoolboys, if you will, like us and girls and everyone, to enjoy James Bond. I think that's an amazing, you've motivated me to pick up a book today. I'm going to get one of my old craggly, dusty paperbacks, because again, I love the smell of them. Sorry, not sorry. And I'm just going to read maybe some short stories, but I am going to read something today. Even though this is a celebration of the movie and movies, I'm fine with that. KT is spending the day with Mrs. Bell. Just be careful with her. She is just, no, Horeb, you're never a late arrival. A wizard arrives exactly as he wants to on the thing. It's Lord of the Rings. I'm jumping brands here. Horeb, we'll see you soon, by the way. And by the way, I keep saying this. I'll see you soon. I'll see you soon. In about less than 1 week's time, even though we're celebrating James Bond Day today, there is a lot of people getting together in London next week. And let's see what's going to be happening. Well, first of all, on Friday, and we're going to give more specifics about this, we are cooking up just a very simple, and I mean the simplest little meet and greet in the Burlington Arcade around 3 p.m. on Friday. Now, this was something we didn't even announce. We hadn't planned, but we talked to a couple of individuals and powers that be, and we thought, there are so many people coming in on Friday next week that it would be nice to maybe grab a drink at the 007 in the Burlington Arcade. So many people want to walk the Burlington Arcade, see the Goldfinger decorations, the carpeting, go visit the Bond brands like Globetrotter and Peel and Crockett and Jones, and yes, the 007, which has its own store. But there's 2 levels of lounges and bar where you can have themed drinks. And so I and a few others will be there to say hello to people and welcome in the weekend before we all go out for drinks and dinners in our own separate ways. But at least for an hour or two, we can get together and maybe say hello. So it's very casual. I'll have more on this as next week transpires and we get some more details, but let's say around 3:00 on Friday, October 11th. Then on October 12th, let's see if I have any visuals. Wait for it. Wait for it. We sort of have the hello. We sort of have the Golden Weekend, which is on Saturday is Operation Solex. That is a sold out event by the 007 GB Club. That is going to be with Maud Adams and Britt Eklund. That is going to be amazing. Then you have at 6 p.m. at the Hippodrome in the Lola Room, we have Operation Goldlinger. Now, this is an open event. I'm going to talk about this more in a second. But on Sunday, we have Cue the Music Show's amazing, absolutely amazing concert. And I'll be your host, whether you want to or not. Yeah, I'll be your host for this concert. It is going to be at the O2 Arena. And from what I hear, there are less than something like 75 tickets open, and there's several thousands of seats. So this is a big audience. It's at the Indigo at the O2. I believe it starts at 5:00, but it goes for like 3+ hours. There's all these things and parties and yada, yada. It's a great weekend. I will tell you, the Burlington Arcade thing on Friday, stopping by 3:00, saying hello. No tickets, no cost, nothing you need to do. Everybody says, what do I need to do? Nothing. Show up. How's that? Same with what I'm calling affectionately Operation Goldlinger on October 12th. Now, Operation Goldlinger is not, it's not anything overly special. I will say that. And I know I'm being self-deprecating, but it is simply my way of having a landing spot for people who are saying, oh my gosh, look who's in town. All these people are celebrating Bond. Wouldn't it be amazing if we all just got together and had a drink? You know, just saddled up and said hello, take a selfie or two, take a picture, laugh at each other's outfits. I don't know. Anything goes. But at 6 p.m. in the Lola Room, that's the kind of the lower room of the Hippodrome until ? I don't know. Does it ever close? Probably not. At the Hippodrome, it is a free event. There's no ticket, but I will warn you, it's not like we're not going to have Bond music. We're not going to have Bond images. This isn't a 007 GB event, which they're amazing. This isn't a gather-all. They're pretty cool too. This is not that. We're not going to have panelists or anything like that. This is basically organizing a Bond pub event in a very nice, swanky place, the Hippodrome, for all of us just to gather and be with each other. So it is as relaxed as you can imagine. For some of you that were there last year, put in the comments what it's like. You basically, you get a drink, you can get some food. It's a cash bar, cash food, yada, yada. And you just saddle up and go, oh, you know what? I've always wanted to talk to Kyle Barbeau. I've always wanted to speak to Wherev. Oh, there's AJ over there. Oh, there's Mark. You know, it's that type of a thing where you just converse. There isn't all this pomp and circumstance. In fact, it's the lack of. So I'm just trying to lower your expectations if you come. That being said, there's always little surprises that happen, little giveaways. And I'm not saying that's not going to happen. But, you know, you never know. Oh, Ronan says costumes are mandatory. Well, here's the thing about Goldlinger. By the way, get it? Goldlinger, linger, you just linger. Yeah. The thing about dress codes with Goldlinger is there is none. You can come in a pair of jeans, denim, whatever you want to do. You could come in costume. You can come in a tuxedo. You can come in a suit, a blazer, anything goes. And I will tell you, last year, everybody dressed in everything. Like there was all different types of things. It is a one come all as you are situation. So please just do that. And yeah, it'll be great. The name was Lola. She was, I think it was not a showroom. Oh, I see what you did. You changed it. The name was Lola. She was a showroom with Bond in the air and Zritsky down to there. He had no underwear. And I'm just, see, it's not good when I come up with my own verses. Jason Barnes says, looking forward to it. By the way, in the comment section, I'm just kind of curious, like, even though we're doing a celebration today, and we're going to have some surprises, who is going to be a part of the Golden Weekend, as we're calling it, starting October 11th, going to the 13th? Are people going to be around for that? Are you coming in? Are you flying from afar? What is going on? By the way, I love these little moments that we're getting in the chat. Alfred Campos says, watched Moonraker with 15-year-old son, Spy Who Loved Me Tonight, then Casino Royale, reading Spy, a good story. Amazon ought to produce a series of Sherwood books. This comment is everything today. If there is an opportunity on James Bond Day to share your passion and love with a friend, with a neighbor, with a spouse, no, chances are they're probably done with it. But yeah, a son, a daughter, a cousin, a niece, an aunt, family members, do it. This is such an amazing day, and what a great excuse. Can you imagine the phone call? Maybe it goes something like this. Who makes a phone call? A text. You imagine a text. Hey, wish me a happy James Bond Day. Some people call it global or international. Just ignore them. I'm going to be watching a Bond film tonight to celebrate. Drinks and food on me. Come on over at 9:00. I mean, it just writes itself, right? I mean, just let's get it done is what I'm saying. Michael Pawlowski says, Hippodrome last year was truly awesome and met so many that were only internet connected before. Yeah. So Mike brings up a really great point, as he often does. As much as my YouTube channel, and I understand this, as much as my channel is all about being online in this glass, ding, 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 there is nothing like, and there's nothing that I like more than actually meeting people and hearing these, what I call mini stories. I heard them at Gatherall. I hear them at events. People come up and they, even if it's 30 seconds, they say, hey, this is my story. This is what I like. This is what I connected with your channel. I love those. I collect those and I don't forget any of them. And people they freak out because I see them like a year later and I'm like, oh, you're the person that did this. And they're like, when you have those type of connections in person, it changes the way you think about the James Bond hobby. It does. Those physical interactions, if you share a drink with somebody in person, you are mobilized and motivated. I had Ryan from Analyze This, Mr. Bond come over to my house and we used my studio downstairs and we did a marathon of movies. I think he was exhausted at the end, if I'm not exaggerating. But I could tell that this motivated him. I saw more posts from him afterwards, connections, etc. And we need that. We need that motivation and mobilization on James Bond Day and past it, because there is a darkness out there. I know this is sounding like very never-ending story-ish. Hold for it. Hold, please. But there is a little bit of a darkness out there in the James Bond community and world. And I don't mean to bring things down a little bit, but hear me out. It's almost like when you go to a field of buffalo. Just come on, just wait for it. And all of a sudden, a couple of years down the line, you go from like 100 buffaloes to like 4 buffaloes, and you're like, buffaloes are going extinct, aren't they? We're losing the buffaloes. Who's hunting these buffaloes in 2024? I don't know why I brought that up. But what I'm saying is we used to have a lot of podcasters. We used to have a lot of YouTube people as well. We don't have so many anymore. I can count on one hand the amount of Bond podcasters that are consistent and regular as far as bringing things out on a regular basis. And I love that they have different themes. Some are music-based. Some are talking about style. Some out there are talking about the history of Bond, which I really like, or the literary Bond, or some are interviewing celebrities, which is great, and Bond alumni. One out there actually talks about the way his dog takes a shit when he takes him for a walk. I'm looking at you, Pete Brooker. I'm looking at you. But whatever it is, they're consistent. Same with YouTube. We've got some people over YouTube, and I think people scratch their heads and they go, why are all these YouTubers focusing on style and fashion? Because you know what? James Bond style and fashion, we can incorporate into our regular world. We don't have to wait for a new movie, right? I mean, look, this is not high fashion, folks. I'm not saying this. I'm saying like the other things in our life that we acquire and wear as part of being Invisible Bond. I think it attracts so many people because we can incorporate and weave that into our everyday lives. I get how the movie thing, we're craving a movie because we need those things to support that. If you're not into Bond style and these other aspects, these corners of the Bond world, you could feel a little lonely and quiet. So things like James Bond Day can spur us on, can connect us. A live stream can connect us. Getting together next week in London can connect us. And I'm going to throw one more thing out in case you didn't know. Today, if you are around from, I think, 12 to 5 in the Burlington Arcade, I think there's going to be a lot of people going through the Burlington Arcade today because it is James Bond Day. And maybe, just maybe, I've seen a post where the 007 store and bar maybe will be celebrating James Bond Day in some unique ways. I'm just saying, so you don't even have to wait for next week. And by the way, check it out. 007 GB themselves, the British James Bond fan club, it's going to be one hell of a golden weekend. It really is. I mean, I don't think that we could ever get enough of celebrating the Man with the Golden Gun and Goldfinger. There's been some Goldfinger celebrations to date. There has, and there will be, and it'll continue forward. Goldlinger is a little bit nod, if you will, to the Goldfinger celebration. There hasn't been a lot of the Man with the Golden Gun. There was an amazing trip to Thailand by Martin Mulder and on the tracks of 007. And it looked amazing. I think our own Mike Poplawski was there. No, I know he was. And he brought his wife, which I don't know how he got her to go because she's not liking the Bond thing too much. But I think it was probably because it was exotic and she could drink coconuts. I think it was all about the coconuts. I don't know. But the Man with the Golden Gun, it seems like, I don't know, a stepchild. Not that there's anything wrong with stepchildren. Bond was a stepchild. But I like that 007 GB is really dedicating their experience, which, my apologies, sold out. However, I know that they're going to be filming it, photographing it, so they will be bringing you that experience at a later date so you can live vicariously and have fun with it. But it is to celebrate the Man with the Golden Gun. And even at the O2 event, that is going to be also a lot of leaning towards the Man with the Golden Gun. And I get to interview Maud and Britt, which is going to be amazing to kind of bring them back again. So you've got Maud and Britt at these events talking about these things. I've said it before, the Bond community does it right. They just do it right. We know what fans want. We know what drives us. Dennis James, look at you go. I love the Man with the Golden Gun. Christopher Lee remains my all-time favorite actor. Christopher Lee is a shite. He is the shit. Sorry, put your kids to bed. I know it's breakfast time, but he is. I rewatched Lord of the Rings with Danielle, the first one, and Christopher Lee, he does everything. Scaramanga is the guy. By the way, how does this group feel about the Man with the Golden Gun? Sometimes I pour so much positive heart into that film. It's, again, gooey pizza fun. I just rewatched it to come up with questions for Maud and Britt, and I had such a great time watching it. It's a laugh riot. How does everybody feel about it? Oh, Bill Kness says the scene with Roger and Christopher Lee are some of the best in the entire series. I agree. And it's a little bit of the writing, but it's the actors. I mean, you just feel like these two are equal. And even when Scaramanga is dispatched, sorry about the spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. Come on. You just feel like you're not like, hurrah. You're almost like, damn. Man, he was good. My hat's off to him. Wait a minute. Zachary Staggers is having a Goldfinger and the Man with the Golden Gun double feature today. By the way, for those of you coming to London next week, preparatory, besides picking out your outfits, figuring out what toothpaste you're going to bring, I would do that double feature. I would watch Goldfinger and Man with the Golden Gun. The question is which one do you watch first? I guess Goldfinger first. I don't know which one. You tell me. You need to work out to fit into a tuxedo. All right, if you say so. I don't know. Last time I checked, I think tuxedos can be tailored for people, but who am I? Who am I to say? I sure am, boy. Yeah, that is one of the best lines in the series. Look at us, Fred Barnaby. I sure am, boy. But people love. Do we love some Sheriff Pepper? Would you like some more pepper on your movie? I think you would. What does Ahmed have to say? That's what I want to know. Ahmed says, I love The Man with the Golden Gun. The acting was great. But you know what? Not everybody agrees with this, and that's fine. We got Paul Lowe. Paul Lowe says, not the greatest movie, a bit bland overall, but I love me some Mary Goodnight. I know. In that bikini. Who knew? Ken says, you know something? At a minimum, great soundtrack, which I would absolutely agree. But, hold on. People have an opinion of whether you watch Goldfinger first and then with the Man with the Golden Gun. Let's see. Hold on a second. All right. Cinedave says Goldfinger first. Mike Poplowski says Goldfinger last, so you have a motivation to get through. Oh, wow. That's pretty sharp. That's all right. Well, if you say so. Goldfinger and The Man with the Golden Gun with Guy Hamilton as director. There is your connection, says James Bond Television. I absolutely agree. But most people are saying Goldfinger first. And Jerry is saying The Man with the Golden Gun had the best Bond versus villain interaction throughout all the films. I'm not exactly disagreeing with you. But check this out. David Minton says, I'm disappointed Globetrotter haven't done The Man with the Golden Case for locking away henchmen. Oh, I see what you did there. That's all about Tattoo and DePlane and DeCase and the Globetrotter. Yeah. I don't know how Globetrotter would market a knick-knack holding Globetrotter case, because I'm pretty sure that there are some individuals, it's a sign of the times, who might look down on Bond doing that. But what was worse, Bond putting a bullet into his forehead, or Bond putting him to a case and then putting him up on the net on the mast of the ship where he will survive and be able to live? So I would fence with you that was a cruel thing. I think cruel is taking somebody out altogether. But how cool would that have been? A Man with the Golden Gun. What would it have been? Actually, what would be really cool is when you open up the Globetrotter, it's all the components of the gun, like inlaid into the lining. Come on. And then the colors, maybe the colors are maybe the outside is his sports jacket. It's like the plaid with the colors on the outside or the inside, because they just did that with the Goldfinger one. That would be very cool. Here's how I want to go with this now. I want to actually take people's questions and what topics, because I just spoke to you for 42 minutes about what I wanted to talk about, and I'm halfway through my, what did we say this was? I'm going to call it the quarrel. It was the first one I saw, but I really like this. This is the quarrel. And I will not quarrel that it's a good name and it's a good drink. But let's talk a little bit about the comments and questions you have. Hold on a second. And by the way, I'm going to let people actually come up with this. And as you're doing that, I do know that 007, officially, Eon, did release an email. I don't know if everybody received on it, ways to celebrate James Bond Day, kind of like we're talking about now. They talked about the different places that you could go to. They obviously talked about Prime. They talked about events. They talked about some of the product launches that are going on here. So I think what's going to happen throughout today, and that's why I wanted to kind of do this to kick it off, we'll be hearing more and more things around different locations, etc. What I'm still waiting for, and we'll see if it even happens, is I have my thread of sparrows in the Bond community who will text me at a certain point if we hear anything about we'll call it a news announcement. How about that? We'll call it a news announcement. But I am not expecting anything, which is, I'm totally fine with that, actually. I'm not, again, doing one of these. Here we go. We have some questions. Fletcher Sykes. Fletcher, the nicest guy in the Bond community. All right, there's Kyle Barbeau, and then there's Fletcher. But Fletcher's like number 2. Who does number 2 work for? How long will you be at the Burlington Arcade on Friday? I finish work at 4:30, but I'm willing to take a half day. Oh, man, don't take a half day to just come by me. But all right, so I will probably be at the Burlington Arcade till around 5:30, 5 o'clock or 5:30. So between 3 and 5 or 5:30 is probably your safe space, if you will. But my gosh, man, we're going to have tons of chances. I know you're going to Operation Solex. I know you better be going to Goldfinger, 6 p.m. at the Hippodrome Saturday night on October 12th. And I would assume you're going to the concert. So you're going to be sick of me by the end of that, I would assume. Here we go. Nick Clusen. I mispronounce everybody. Please don't feel bad. Do you think we will hear anything about the new Omega DC was wearing at the Olympics today? Well, if it was a James Bond Omega, I would think we would, but I believe it was a military homage Omega. So I don't think we're going to hear anything from Omega today. No. And I don't think there's going to be a Goldfinger. People were like, oh, there's going to be a Goldfinger homage. I don't believe there's going to be anything like that. All right, more questions are coming in. All-time favorite gadget. So easy because I've done a whole video on this. For me, my all-time favorite gadget is the Ericsson phone from Tomorrow Never Dies, just because of its utility, the way it's used. I've always wanted one. I got a replica downstairs from my friend Klaus. Adrian Moore, what do I win? Adrian, if you have the ability to show up at the Burlington Arcade on Friday at the 007 store and bar, I will have a prize for you. I will have a prize for naming this amazing drink, Coral. I'm just saying. We have a comment from James Bond Television. Cruel was Bond slapped Maud Adams' character and tried to break her arm in the mail with a golden gun. You're talking like Yoda right now, which makes me think like you've been drinking. No, James Bond Television, good friend of mine. Was it cruel? Let me put it to you this way. I know that Roger Moore and people that love Roger Moore thought it was a cruel moment for his Bond. When it comes to Bond, he is an assassin and spy. He is going to do things to get answers. He's going to do things to complete his mission, like step into a shower with Severine, which people didn't like. But sometimes he's got to pump people for information. He's got to get information. So these things that Bond do that people feel are cruel, or Bond is a son of a bitch. I hate to break this to you on James Bond Day. He's not wearing a cape with an S on his chest. He is not a Boy Scout. He is an anti-hero. He's a son of a bitch. Fleming wrote him like that. Fleming told the press that he has some unlikable traits and some likable ones as well. And the reason we love Bond so much, aka I love Bond so much, is he's fallible. Bond is much more like me than Superman is like me, or Luke Skywalker, or anything like that. These great good guys who, hey, there's some certain things to emulate from Luke Skywalker and Superman, but it's not my life. So yeah, I don't know. I would argue with the fact that it's cruel. Sorry. Oh, Jerry, by the way, I'm not reading these questions. I'm literally seeing a question and clicking on them, so they could be insane. Jerry asks, David, do you think there needs to be a faster production of the new Bond video game? Also release the old ones in a playable format. Ooh, I am of the GoldenEye video game generation. That hooked me. Jerry, you should be part of a focus group. I like the cut of your jib. Well, first of all, I would love the video game to be faster production. I suspect that there have been some changes to the video game. I don't know if it's, it's the Hitman people, right? Hitman, assassin, kill. I know that Eon doesn't really like the killing aspect in some of these video games, so maybe it's to bring some of that down a little bit. But I love the ideas of releasing the old ones, because some of the old ones can't be played anymore in an older format, or to be able to download them. What a great celebration that would be, to be able to play some of the older Bond games. I would love that. Mr. George 2U says, or asks, you probably already have a cocktail with his name, but if not, why not the Danielle? I would have Danielle concoct her own cocktail. I think that would be fun. Maybe that'd be a good video, like, have my Bond girl concoct a Bond cocktail, because I think she's so creative. She comes up with most of these marketing names like Gatherall and things like that. So I think she would be very creative in coming up with a cocktail. Username info for the revenge. Wow, that's a mouthful. Have you ever embarrassed yourself meeting a Bond person? I think the right question should be, have I ever not embarrassed myself meeting a Bond person? I don't know. I always get that kind of anxiety and flush, which I think is healthy. The first time I've met Daniel Craig was not the most wonderful experience, but it was on me rather than him. I mean, I was interrupting his private life in the sense that he was at the Tom Ford store. It was me, him, my wife, and a manager. Manager kind of gave me the nod and permission, so I wasn't doing it sort of out of bounds. But, I introduced myself, asked him for a picture, and he politely refused the picture. So it was like, and I wasn't embarrassed, but it was more like, wonk, 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 wonk. And then I've met him 3 or 4 times beyond that, and they've been very positive. But no, I can't say that I've fully embarrassed myself to like a big range, but I always feel like a little bit of fun anxiety. So there's nothing wrong with that. There's not going to be anything newsworthy to report from Eon today. I would agree. Analyze this, Mr. Bond says, what would your dream as yet unreleased tie-in product be for Goldfinger and or the Golden Gun? What would it be? I would think for Goldfinger, a nice product. Oh, I know what I want. I know what I want. I want action figures. I know I'm a child, but I would love James Bond action figures that are derived from each one of the movie. 3 3/4, just like the Star Wars ones. Hold on a second. Wait for it. This is what happens when you're a child man. Like this size. Like I've got a 3PO on my desk. See, I want this size of a James Bond figure. I want them to come out with 12 initially, just like they did with Star Wars. This will be the first 12, right? James Bond figures. Then I want vehicles and play sets. I want a volcano. I want toys. And I want these, by the way, to be like, look, I know gone are the days that these are going to be like $4 or $5, but under $10 a piece with collectible packaging, under $10 a piece. And I want the play sets to be, under $40 a piece. I want to be able to buy these and give them to my nieces and nephews and people like that, and give them out as gifts to people that don't even want them or who don't know they want them, but they will want them. That's what I would want. That was a long way of answering. Oh, here we go. Neil Taylor asks, a work colleague asked, should they remake any of the early James Bond films? I have such you could tell I thought about this. I've heard this, revamping, remaking, remake Moonraker to be more like the book. Don't be lazy. Don't be lazy. We've had those adventures. They've come to screen and they have been the collective work of amazing artists and actors and producers and yada, yada. So let them be. Let them alone. Enjoy them or don't enjoy them. It's totally up to you. But I would think that if you have a creative bunch of individuals, they could come up with new adventures and new ideas. And if they can't, and if they have to keep remaking these, it's lazy. Don't be lazy. Listen to me sounding like a dad. Don't be lazy. Do I have Braden G? Sounds like a DJ. Do you have a favorite non-Bond theme cocktail? A non-Bond theme cocktail, which, yes. I mean, gin and tonics, love gin and tonics, but you know something? I just love a good, neat reposado tequila. Just a good reposado tequila like a Casa Azul. Oh, expensive, but delicious. Casa Azul, even Casamigos. Casamigos. Love that as well. So yes, simple things. Here we go. Are you going to be playing the new Project 007 video game when it comes out? Have you played the older games? Love your channel. Thank you. Thank you so much. Love you. I will be playing this. Yeah, if the Hitman people are doing it, it's going to be good. iOS, is that what they're called? And if they're watching, please send a preview copy ASAP. But I do. I want to play it. I want to try it. I want to immerse myself in the world. I mean, Bond to me, the best part of Bond is about escapism. So yeah, let's do that. So good question, Stanwall. When are you coming to Australia? When am I coming to Australia? Not anytime soon. I would love to. It looks beautiful. And Chris Corbold said something recently in a video to the James Bond Down Under folks that Bond needs to get to Australia. And I wholeheartedly agree. So Bond should get there before me, I think. Cooper asks, which Bond location would you like to visit next? I feel like you need to do a Bond experience Asia trip at some stage and hit Hong Kong, Japan, Thailand, North Korea. Actually, I would love that. I would love that. I do want to go to Thailand, would love, Japan, all those places, Singapore, they all look amazing. I'll get there. They are on my bucket list. I have, all right. So if we don't get any official announcements, I'm hoping to pepper a couple Bond experience announcements. Besides Solden, besides Austria, there is inevitably going to be some other Bond experience location trips next year. And some of those may be the opportunity to invite some people, which will be fun. For example, I'm just putting it out there. Next year is the Thunderball 60th anniversary. Wouldn't it be amazing if there was a celebration in the Bahamas? That would be cool. And it's been a while since I've been back to GoldenEye. Wouldn't it be cool to go back to GoldenEye a couple times and live the Fleming life? I mean, I took a few friends, few close friends there and did a big shindig. And I don't know, maybe GoldenEye has an appetite to do that more and bigger and better. And wouldn't that be exciting to do that next year a few times? So there are locations. My dance card from a location standpoint is getting pretty filled up next year for 2025. There is some stuff going on in France, for example, with View to a Kill that the fan clubs are putting together. And by the way, one thing I should have said, I can't believe I'm saying this like 57 minutes in. Hold. The fan clubs, I think, are a great place to not only gather information, but to gather people and community and events. If you find that there's a black hole of things going on, the fan clubs are a wonderful way, depending on your geography, of where to connect these together. You've got, 007 GB for the UK-based one. You've got, obviously, the James Bond French Club. You've got the Swiss Club. You've got the German. You've got the Japanese. So, yeah, I mean, there's some wonderful things to choose from. You can align yourself to the geography. You can align yourself to the language, or you can support them all. There's nothing wrong with that. Very cool. All right. I'm going to take one more question. Hold on. I'm looking through questions. Oh, here we go. Oh, I'm going to end on, nothing too serious or controversial. Do Amazon think Eon are sorting out Bond 26? Do Eon think Amazon are sorting out Bond 26? And is nobody sorting out Bond 26? Martin Barrett, thank you for closing my Q&A on a hell of a question. I want to give this a real answer. I don't want to give this a, politically correct or etiquette answer or, I don't know what the relationship is between Amazon and Eon, or Eon and Amazon. I can only tell you what I hope. I hope that there is a very specific forecasted plan of action, meaning when the films start in their pre-launch phase, pre-production, what I'm hoping is that the two can come together, even though Eon Danjak is the creative force. And if you think about it, Amazon is more of the kind of back-end distribution. I still hope that they can talk about how these things are going to roll out. I don't believe Eon's going to come to Amazon and going, hi, I'm here to borrow a cup of sugar. Oh, and by the way, what type of actor do you think we should have for Bond? That's not going to happen. I think there is a clear delineation of talent to task. And Eon has their marching orders. They know what they're great at. And Amazon, I don't know if you got an Amazon package today, but it's only a matter of time when I get one, is great at distribution. So how these things roll out and are marketed, I hope it's a combined thing, because I think Amazon has some very innovative thinking and ways to do this, to kind of roll out the next Bond movie and series of Bond movies. What is the cadence? How to do it? And so I really hope that there's permeability on both sides to look at each other's strengths, maybe even weaknesses, and come to terms for the betterment of the Bond fan, to be, and of the movie going experience in general. I have nothing but hope, high hopes and positive hopes. So here we go. Now, here's what I'd like to do. It's been an hour, happy hour, but I want to make sure that you get out there and enjoy James Bond Day however you see fit. A few things today that you can expect from the Bond Experience channel. Besides this video, 3 other videos, German 3, are going to be coming out. We've got one at 10 o'clock, we've got one at 2 o'clock, and then we've got one later into the evening. So the Bond Experience is going to have videos strafed throughout. We're going to have some Instagram lives. We're going to have some images. It's all going to be there. I'm going to be doing my part to keep the James Bond end up. You have my commitment, my allegiance to James Bond, that I will never go dark. There will always be videos coming out multiple times a week, sometimes today, multiple times a day. I will always keep James Bond alive and well. And this is all part of it. I mean, just connecting with all of you has been amazing. And my hope, because I'll just stay on the hope thing, is that I get to see you all, or many of you, in person next week. It's going to be amazing. So there we go. Everybody have an amazing day. I'll talk to you soon. And remember, Bond community and what we pull together and the way we appreciate and show our passion, it's kind of everything. So let's just keep it up. Hashtag be kind all the time. And I'll see you very soon. Take care. Cheers. Bye.